It's time for Breaking Chain with Healthy Monday, where we will discuss spiritual, mental, and physical health issues. It's Breaking Chain with Healthy Monday on YAT Radio.
We would like to say good evening, good evening. It is an honor and a privilege to be on Healthy Mondays tonight, where we will discuss different topics to kind of encourage us and enlighten us so that we won't feel so bogged down. I've explained to everyone tonight, this is Elder Katrina Kennedy. Pastor Williams is not able to be with us, but tonight we have Queen Sheena, King Bo, and Brother Clayton on the line with us tonight. And they're going to touch on some very serious topics to help us get in touch with our bodies. And we would like to say welcome. If you all can, please listen in live to 858-357-9137. You may feel like you have a question or a comment or just need some insight on something a little bit more in depth as to what it is that we're going through, or feel free to log in to www.blogtalkradio.com at Young Adult Talk Radio for live stream. All righty, we're going to ask Mr. Clayton or Queen and King to take over at this time.
Well, how's everybody doing out there? This is Bo, my beautiful people. Good evening, good evening. So today our main topic we're talking about is preventing preventable diseases and the top things that our people are dying from that we can start today and make a difference. And you know, we welcome all callers, we welcome all input, and we're just gonna try our best to leave you guys more educated about your health than when you started listening.
Good afternoon, everyone. My kings and queens out there. This is Tina, and we're just going to, like I said, get started on the top preventable diseases really in the African-American community that, as it's put, we could prevent these things from happening or at least decrease it. If you already have it, there is a way to reverse it. And hopefully we have some callers today that have done so or are looking forward to do so. So we're just looking forward to putting that information out there for you all this evening.
Brother Clayton?
Awesome.
Yes, sir. Also, I'm lifestyle change trainer, Brother Clayton. I'm on the line, and I'm gonna be tag teaming with King Bo and Queen Sheena, and we're gonna talk about how to get started and how, you know, to everything that you have thought about maybe that has been hindering you from getting started. I'm going to give you some great tips to get you started and keep it going.
Awesome. Well,
exciting.
I just want to say, too many times in our community, we're seeing our people die or live a horrible end of their life with diabetes, hypertension, cancer, obesity. So tonight we're going to explore some of these things and just get you motivated to prevent. Of course, we want any knowledge that you get from us, we want you to definitely pass it down, pass it across your brothers, sisters, neighbors. You know, it's time for us to hold ourselves accountable and hold our communities accountable, especially for our health. Health to be a topic that's talked about in your household, in your congregation, at school. Health is a topic that needs to be talked about in our community. Too many times we get all our health information from a doctor who's trying to hurry up and get through his process to get to the next patient. And he doesn't have time. Doctors rarely have time to educate you on how to live a healthy life. They may be educating you on this type of pill or the type of ailment that you have at the moment, but they hardly ever take time to do so. So it's on us in our community to give avenues for us to start talking about health and how to be healthy. I hate seeing they have horrible stats out here with kids. I believe it's half of our kids in elementary school right now are on a track for type 2 diabetes. You know, so stats like that, yeah. And this is the African American community. So stats like that, and those kids aren't doing that to themselves. And there's a myth out there.
No way.
It's no way. It's you know, and there's a myth out there that these genes are being passed down from generation to generation. And I'm a believer that it's partially true, but I'm a believer that we're passing down the wrong habits and the wrong behaviors to our children and to the next generation. So that's what we have to break. So tonight we hope to just inform everybody on, like I say, our personal ways that we've discovered and we've came across that people are reducing their chances of preventable diseases such as hypertension, diabetes, and certain cancers. So we hope to get you guys motivated to start thinking and make a change. So I'm gonna give it to Sheena, and we're gonna talk about the top few things that are killing us.
Okay, so our first subject today is going to be heart disease, which is the number one killer for all Americans, not just African Americans, for all Americans across the United States. And that's a staggering statistic right there. That's enough. And the definition, which I'm going to cite the Mayo Clinic on this one, of heart disease is a condition that involves narrowed or blocked blood vessels that can lead to a heart attack, chest pain, or stroke. So, of course, high blood pressure, smoking, the number one thing is smoking tobacco for heart disease. So everything, I mean, you know, I guess back in the day during the cowboy days, it wasn't so prevalent because they were doing it naturally. But now they're putting all kind of extra stuff in there, and that's the stuff that's really, anything foreign in your body is pretty much not going to do you any good. But like I said, the smoking tobacco is the number one reason for heart disease. And as we know, we do have a lot of smokers out here. So if you have that relative that you've been pestering, keep on pestering. Maybe it'll work because it will save their life. Also,
but isn't it
disease,
true, Queen Sheena? I'm sorry, go ahead. I don't want to stop you. I just want to ask a question, though.
Go ahead, please.
Well, you were saying that tobacco smoking is like one of the number one reasons for heart disease, and it's not just in our community, but it's worldwide. You would think, you know, that when you hear these statistics and everything, that would stop, you know, at least put it some kind of, you know, it would resonate in somebody's mind, hey, I really need to stop. But I hear every day that it's addictive, you know, so how can you, just like with alcohol or, you know, anything like that, how can you cut back on something that people are so bogged down, is so heavily embedded in them that it's a disease and it's addicting? You know, I have family members, a very good family member who died of lung cancer, and he just told me, he says, listen, you know, I've been smoking all my days, and so I've already got the disease, and the cancer is not what's going to kill me, it's the smoking, but I can't stop. And sure enough, when he died, and I don't mean to gross anybody out, but when he died, he had a cigarette in his hand, in one hand, and a bottle of BO Seagrams or something like that in his other hand. So, you know, help me.
Well, education. A lot of people don't know that smoking is the number one thing that's killing people. So to tell somebody that it makes a difference. A lot of people never look up the stats. They only the government thinks that the small label that they have on the tobacco is enough. It's not. It's not enough. You know, even the commercials aren't enough. We need people talking about this in our communities, at the stores. We need, you know, we need. And I believe in New York, cigarettes are $10. You know.
Yeah.
We came together as a community and said we want cigarette tax and for it to go to our education system so they can teach some health nutrition at school. Then, you know, us as a community have to hold people accountable. And we have to teach our kids at an early age. For a lot of us adults, it's too late. You know, we're not going to change our minds. You know, a lot of elders figure, you know what, like my mom felt the same way. I've been doing it since I was 13. You know what? I'm all right. If I die, I die. So what? I've been doing it since I was 13. You know, and so we have to let our kids know. We have to let the kids in high school go to the high school, show them pictures of lungs that are 20-year plus smokers. You know, put the fear in them, so to speak. But and then hold them accountable and hold our community accountable. We got every gas station you walk in has a host of, and I don't want to get off topic, but every gas station or convenience store you walk in, they have a host of things that kill you. You know, starting with the chips and the candies and the sugary drinks. There's no way one small gas station has over 100 variety of different sugary drinks that you can indulge yourself in. You know, 100, 200 variety of potato chips. And then when you look behind the cabinet, you have 200 varieties of different cigarettes, of different cigars, of different chewing tobacco. You got the advertisement outside on the windows. You have, you know, so if us as a community say we're fed up with it, then we say, you know what, we don't want these type of stores in our community. You know, we take it to the city council and say, look, you know, we want to make it a little bit harder for our children to get tobacco, you know, or we want to tax it. So if we came together as a community and made this an issue, and then we'll win. You know, sad to say that people only think it's an issue when it's close to them. So I've had people talk about their family members dying from lung cancer, and that's why they don't smoke, or that's why they tell everybody don't smoke. But what about if your family member didn't die from lung cancer? You know, so too many times we wait for it to happen close to home to care about it. And that's one of our downfalls, and that's across the board with all the negative things that we do concerning our health. We wait till it hits close to home or us to start caring about it. But I'm gonna hop back on topic.
Yeah, you do that. You got back on topic.
You guys have any? You guys got any questions? Or you want to add to that, Clay?
Oh no, that sounds great, man. And another thing I was thinking about was also the fact that, you know, healthier choices. We know what drives people to smoke is a stress, you know, things like that. What got people to smoking, and so we would definitely have to put this where the healthier lifestyle will come into play too. So I definitely agree with both of them. If we keep our community accountable, and then we go in and provide alternatives like programs, like healthier programs, educational programs, and then, you know, we create a reason why people should, you know, and why people will, because even secondhand smoke is one of my main reasons why I hate it, you know, because I found out that even through that, you know, I've had people that never smoked a cigarette and they're dying because of cigarette smoke. So it's definitely something that we have to hit head on, and I'm super ready, Bo. Man, we can go and tackle that, and I'm super excited about that. So you can definitely count me in. So we can create some real ideas, simple solutions, and I think we have to definitely take a sense of urgency with it and hit it head on and just go out there and do it like we're saying. So you know, our actions is what's gonna do all the talking. So I'm ready. I'm super excited about that.
Well, this is true. This is true, and I've heard like on 3 different occasions just in the last 30 minutes that we've been on the line, Bo has mentioned accountability. And I am an advocate for being accountable, because the thing is, like you all are saying, you know, we need to come up with different strategies and alternatives to educate. You know, it's not a hard thing to do. It's about pulling our resources together. And I really love what you're saying, Bo, about going to, you know, the city council and you know, making that label larger on that cigarette package, or offering alternatives like Clayton is saying, you know, and this is really good. And I think that tonight is where it starts, like we're doing right now, having this open forum to talk about the different alternatives and the different ways that we can educate, because it's really a dying world, and cancer is just like the number one thing, you know, and we don't want to just keep expounding on cancer, but that's what's taking our people out. I mean, my father died as a result of smoking, but he died of congenital heart failure and a stroke. But it all ties into the cigarettes, you know. So, yeah, I'm excited, and I'm going to let you guys get back on topic. I'm not going to keep taking over, but it's just like you're hitting on some really serious topics, and I'm excited, you know. It's time. It's time.
Yeah.
So go back.
Me all fired up over here.
Me too.
Hey, I'm telling you, I care about our people. I do. So, yeah. Okay, it's back on you, Bo. I'm sorry.
Well, we're going to get back to it and give you I'll give you 3 other things that we should not be doing that can help us prevent heart disease. And, of course, we know smoking is one of them. And the diet, like I said, the eating better is definitely one of the things. And we talked about the traditional Southern diet last time we were on, and, you know, all the salts and the pork and all that stuff. You know, we have to have an alternative to that because, of course, with the salt comes the high blood pressure, which ties back into the heart disease. And also exercising regularly. And it doesn't take, you don't have to go to the gym and be one of them 3-hour people up there trying to really pump it out. It takes about 30 minutes for you to walk around, or as I say for the elders, if you're watching TV, every time a commercial comes on, just get up and walk around the chair or walk to the kitchen or something like that, you know, every time a commercial comes on. So that'll pretty much get you where you need to be.
And those are manageable and doable things. You know, what you're saying, Sheena, is manageable. It's not something that's, like you said, a 3-hour regimen. You know, the first thing I'm going to holler is I don't have 3 hours out of my day to go to a gym and pay a membership, although I pay a membership and I don't get a chance to go, but that's neither here nor there. You know, 30 minutes is doable. It's doable.
Yeah.
It really is. And you're giving a really good a good thought process by, you know how many commercials are on a television program. And my mother being 71 is like every time a song comes on, she's up moving around. So it's just kind of like when the commercial comes on, she's on the radio or whatever, she's up moving around, and that helps to keep her heart pumped, and that's good. These are manageable tools. Okay, I'm done.
And it's also good. Like, we like to have things for every generation. The young people to do, the middle-aged, the elderly, because you have to, especially in the business we're in, and trying to help our people out of this rut that we're in, is meeting people where they're at, not where you're at. Your regimen won't be mine, and vice versa. So you can't be trying to push it on people, especially without an alternative to give them. So that's just a no-go. But I'm going to jump back and give you 5 ways to prevent heart disease. So number one thing is don't smoke. That'll probably take care of all of it. The second thing would be to exercise regularly, like we just talked about, 30 minutes a day if you can. 3, try to keep your blood pressure under control. I know my grandmother, she's a retired OBGYN, and she always has kept the blood pressure machine in the house, just so, you know, you can keep that under control. And she's never had any blood pressure issues, actually. So I recommend that everybody do that as well if you can. Go to your local drugstore, Walgreens, CVS, and pick you up a blood pressure machine and check it every now and then. Or they have the free ones where you can just go sit and do it there. So I recommend you do that when you're, like I said, at Walgreens or CVS shopping. Number 4 would be to eat more fruits and vegetables, like we talked about. The diet is always tied back into everything that we're talking about. It's eating healthier, making better decisions. And number 5, I'm going to go ahead and plug in, would be the leafy greens, especially for heart disease, because of the fiber, and it lowers your cholesterol and reduces the risk of course, heart disease. And right now is the season for the leafy greens, the collards, the spinach, lettuce, and all that. So I would recommend that if you can get your hands on some of that and you have heart disease issues or want to prevent that, then those are the items and the things that you need to be doing to prevent it.
And I just want to follow up on a couple of those preventative measures. There's going to be a common theme with me and Sheena. It's the things that you put in your body, and just being consciously aware of what you're putting in your body. So for everything that we talk about, any anytime we're talking about health, holistic, whatever, we're going to be talking about the things you put in your body, point blank. So some people may not know what's bad for them. So I just want to let you guys know some of the ways to identify the bad things you're putting in your body. Of course, saturated fat is what we're trying to stay away from, and those trans fats are what we're trying to stay away from. So red meat, period, has a lot of fat, a lot of fat that we don't need in our body. Dairy products, especially full dairy products like whole milk and the cheese and the yogurts, all those stuff has saturated fat in it. And a lot of oils, different oils have saturated fat and trans fat. When you look at your packages, some ways to identify the negative fat is if it says hydrogenated oil or partially hydrogenated oil, that just means trans fat. So our deep fried foods, when we're frying them in the oil products that we use, and we do have some substitutes we can tell you about that you can fry your foods in. A lot of bakery products, because of course they put a lot of margarine and butter and all that good stuff in our sweets. And you can imagine, if at home we put a lot of butter and sugar and stuff, you can imagine what the factories are doing to keep people coming back.
Right.
To get this product.
Right.
So you know what's going in your pies and cakes, but do you know what's going in these pies and cakes from the factories? So packaged snack food is a no-go. If you can, stay away from the chips. And I'm going through it too. I have to. I'm on the right track of getting to where I want to be health-wise. So when I do see chips and I'm hungry, I just want some. I just want to get some. But it's only because it's in my face. So when I'm hungry and I'm gardening, it's like I'm taking okra off the plant and eating it right there. I'm getting tomatoes. So it's what you put around yourself. And of course, the crackers and cookies and all that stuff is negative for your body. We just want to let you know, just be consciously aware of the things you're putting in your body. And the more you surround yourself with people who eat right and places where people are eating right. So if you go to an event and they have fruits and vegetables, you're more likely to eat those fruits and vegetables. If you're growing fruits and vegetables, you're more likely to eat those fruits and vegetables. And again,
so it's kind
right
of
now
safe to say mind over matter.
Yes. And again, right now it's leafy green season, so definitely go get your leafy greens, your collards, your turnips, your kales, your spinaches. Go get those leafy greens. They're in season and they're beneficial for your body. One thing I do say is try to get some leafy greens that you can eat raw. So get your greens and your collard greens and your mustard greens. Try not to put any fats in them while you're cooking them. Try for some alternatives. Smoked turkey neck. Even though I stay away from the meats, period, but smoked turkey necks is an alternative to any type of pork or ham hock or back fat, definitely. And experiment with different seasonings. But definitely eat some raw, fresh, leafy greens. So we're gonna move on to the next disease. So that's heart disease. You guys have any questions or want to elaborate on anything? Awesome. So our next topic is going to be stroke. Correct?
Okay. Yes. And I'm going to give you all the definition of that as well. Well, there are many definitions, but the one we're talking about today is a sudden disabling attack or loss of consciousness caused by an interruption in the flow of blood to the brain, especially through thrombosis, which means a seizure, basically. So I know I've had people in my family who've definitely been affected by stroke, and it was caused by high blood pressure. So, like I said, all this is like tying right back into each other again. And just like he said, what Bo was saying, you have to be conscious of what we are putting in our body, especially African Americans with our salt intake. That's one of the main things in stress. And I know it's easy to say, don't stress, don't do this, but we really, if we can help it, need to find ways, like we were talking about meditation and all that, to get that inner peace, because stress will kill you. It literally will kill you, and we have to take it seriously.
again, we're talking about holistic health. It's not just the physical health. It's the stresses. It's the things we put around us. It's the people we put around us. There are some people right now, today, if I even look at them, my blood pressure is going to go up. And I'm pretty sure we all have those type of even. If I even look at them, my blood pressure is going to go up. Or if you're in a certain situation, you're back. For a lot of people who used to live a bad life or a toxic life, when you see those old buildings, you may have done drugs back in the day. When you go down that old street, those old buildings, you kind of get a sense of anxiety because your old life. You don't want to be caught back up with your old life and the negative things associated with it. So my mom, for the example of my mother, she was on drugs for years. And when she became clean, she always say, "No, I don't go that way," or "I don't go that." I used to like, "Mom, why?" She's like, "Because that's it gives me a feeling. I don't want to have that feeling I used to have when she was on drugs." She didn't want that seed to be planted in her head again of her old house or hanging out with old friends. So even with living a healthy life, I'm gonna relate that back to our health. Living a healthy life, if you got that friend that all she want to do is invite you over and eat, take you out to eat, invite you over and sit down, if you have that friend, sometimes you got to say no, because when you go to your sister's house, she going to cook. All she do is cook chicken, and it's good food that tastes good, but it's so bad for your body. So, again, holistic health, surrounding yourself with the right people, feeling good about yourself, man. We have to learn to love ourselves. And before we get off the radio tonight, I definitely want to have a love yourself session. I want to talk more about that, but we have to love ourselves and have the confidence in ourselves to make that change. And that's hard to do when you're under stress or in an environment where you can't even think about your health. Some people can't even consciously think about their health because their whole life is in shambles. They having problems over here, baby daddy, baby mama problems with the system, the bills, the government, the police, court. So a lot of people don't even have time to consciously think about their health. So in order to, you have to start eliminating some of these other things in your life so you can focus on living a long life. And another thing I would say is our people congregate once a week at least, most of our religious people. I think during those times, health should be a topic. I think these pastors should bring professionals in or educate themselves a little bit about health and talk to the people like we're doing tonight. 15, 20 minutes. Our schools, I read, and you guys can go look it up, man. I've read, and even in Mobile County, they do about 15 minutes of nutrition education in school. 15 minutes out of a whole school year to get about, and I may be off by a couple minutes, but, we were watching a documentary, and you had doctors in front of Congress, or Congress complaining about that doctors only get a few hours of nutrition education a year. Remember, I told you at the beginning of the show, doctors really don't tell you how to live a healthy lifestyle. A lot of them might not even know themselves. So they, like I said, they can diagnose a disease with ease, but when it comes to how to prevent, they might not even know themselves. They've been to school their whole life and to study one thing or two things, but nutrition hardly ever comes up. They usually go by what's recommended from the government. So if the government says this is how you should eat, the doctors promote this is how you should eat. And sometimes the government is wrong. As we know, especially as people of color, we know the government can look the other way sometimes, to ski.
This is true.
So we have to do our own research, and we have to be knowledgeable about our bodies and some of the things we eat. And I like to tell my people to think about what where we naturally come from and the natural things that we used to eat before society became what it is all over the world. So I like to get back to the primal state of health. You guys want to add anything on that?
No, I'm just listening to you talking about going into the religious sectors and where the pastor should implement a healthy session, at least 15 minutes. That's really interesting. You should say that, Bo, because on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, that's normally the prime time in church meetings. And I know from visiting various churches with friends, when they have Bible study, right, they bring in like this huge pot of spaghetti, which is what I fixed yesterday for my family. And I did a different version for myself because, I don't do meats. I only eat seafood. So it's easy because that's what I do. I feed my family what they want, what they demand, but yet I try to include healthier lifestyles with them as I cook for myself. But anyway, going to the churches, you don't get that. You just get, hey, we're going to feed spaghetti and bread and salad or whatever. And you're right. But most churches now, the churches in which I attend, they don't even give you that. So it would really be good to implement duplicate some of what the other churches are doing by bringing in some sort of snack or, something for people before, while they're there so they don't have to try and go home and cook or, children or what have you. And that's really good because, you just don't think, I think a lot of us, to be honest, are, you go into this religion where certain things are set in place and you don't want to go in there and disturb or take away anything that they've been doing for so long. But in order to drum up, and I'm not saying that it's all about getting more people involved, but it is. If you were to bring in something healthy, you would be amazed at how much more participation you would get from people because, my children are now 18 and 25, but when they were younger, I would leave work, running or pick them up from after school care, get to the church, and then what do I do on my way home? Stop by a fast food restaurant and feed them. Yes, I was one of those ones, But when you learn better, you do better. So what you're saying is really on point, and I thank you for that. I'm sorry, Clayton, I cut you off, but yeah.
No problem at all. Everything you're saying, it's great. And it's amazing you say that, Bo, because we're on one accord, and we always have been in our conversations and our actions, and that's what I love about our conversations. But at the Church of Glory, is the church where I attend now. I've been focusing on ministry, and I talked to Apostle Ernest Gwynn, and we are getting ready to kick off. It's funny that you're saying that we're getting ready to kick off a health and fitness segment for the Church of Glory, but I had already started doing what I call praise and fitness. That we're gonna go and talk about exercise and nutrition in the churches because you're right, that's where all the people meet. So we got to go and like Sheena started out talking, got to meet people where they are. But the key word we were talking about started off with was accountability. And if we can get the pastors and wives to be accountable to their health and the things that they're not doing, which is what I was able to minister to Apostle Gwen and his wife. I said it starts from the head because y'all are the leaders in the church, and I think that's where the breakdown is. We don't have enough leaders being transparent. That's one of the words I'm gonna talk about tonight too. Just being transparent about where you are. And saying, look, I need to fix this. I need to do better in this area, and I am, and I need help, and getting the help you need, and then helping others. And so it's amazing that you're talking about that. So y'all, we'll be definitely giving updates about that. We're gonna get ready to kick that off this month, and so we'll be able to, Sheena and Bo, I'm already inviting you and Elder. We're gonna go out and we're just gonna make this a tour. We can go to all the churches and communities.
I'm excited. I'm telling you, that sounds like a plan.
So we definitely kickstarting it now. And the thing about it is, what you're saying, we have to have somebody lead the way. You know, everybody out here don't want to just be unhealthy. But what other options do you have? What other examples do you have? You know, the people that they look up to, how are they eating? You know, so it starts with somebody saying, taking the initiative and saying, I'm gonna lead the way. I'm gonna be the leader, and it don't have to be that person's parent. It can be a child. Sometimes can lead the way. So we can plant the seed in our children. They can actually lead the parents and the adults sometimes. So either way, it's just getting the education out there and planting that seed and watch it blossom and watch it go forth, man. So I'm super excited about that. So you hit on something that's really important. We got to meet people where they are, and they meet up at church all the time. So we got to definitely go there and shake things up. I'm looking forward to that.
So
just say
I definitely,
when,
we
Clayton,
down.
I'm ready.
Oh yeah.
And I know a couple other people were talking about the same thing of, like I say, the accountability, some leaders in the community, so we could get us a little crew together, hit some of these churches and tell them, basically, they say in order for people to get people's attention, you hit them with staggering stats. So we go in there and tell them, you guys are going to die. You don't save your life. But it's true. And people, it's a saying that we're not living longer, we're dying longer. So once we find out we have something or we have this, we just take medicine to pacify us to get us on to the next. But essentially we're still dying, and the only way to bring back to life is nutrients and water. Any plant that we've had, we go outside and see a plant drooping and dropping down. We're going to give it a little bit of water, give it a little bit of fertilizer. It's going to press it right back up, get it right back, and actually reverse and kill some of the disease that's in it. So that's what we need to be thinking about in our bodies. We need to be thinking about reversing these diseases,
right about that.
Killing them, stopping them, not even having them in the first place. And it all boils back down to our healthy lifestyle and our choices that we make in our life, especially with eating, the things that we're putting in our body. And, of course, our environment, again, we talk about the holistic health, our environment, the things that are around us. We may live, and I know when I was in California, we always stayed in close proximity to some factories, or we stayed by the water, so it's always oil refineries and stuff. And I know that has it takes a toll on our health, because every kid is being born with respiratory problems and asthma and can't breathe, so that's not because it's not just because kids are being born with asthma. It's because of the things that are in the air, the things that we're around. Every time I see a commercial on TV, they say a family member has worked in a shipyard or worked in the construction or worked over here, and they've had asbestos, been have exposure to asbestos. Called it. It's like, man, you guys know this stuff is killing us, but you still choose the manufactured stuff this way, or and people aren't going to turn down jobs, especially shipyard type of jobs. That's those are the good jobs in our black communities where our brothers and sisters go to. So, but
that's
our
true.
life is, and they don't think about the long-term effect of smelling welding chemicals. They do it for 20, 30 years, and all of a sudden they're going blind, and the chemicals from the weld smoke have caused them to have some type of respiratory problems, and then they begin to die longer instead of live. So people have to just be conscious. Yeah, after you work, just be conscious of what's going in your body and what you're around, and those life choices. Start thinking about those life choices at an earlier age, and don't just be forced into doing this because that's all I can do, or that's all I was exposed to, So even with these sports, even with football, when we got our kids out there and they rocking other kids, going helmet to helmet or hitting each other hard, or that has an effect on their bodies, on their brains,
Long term, that's true.
And and Southern tradition is football. So when we go out there and we see them kids hitting hard, and you say something to the coach like, man, coach, don't promote that. Don't promote that. That's too much. Or our kids on them hot days out there practicing and stuff like that. We have to think, and that's heat stroke. We still talking about stroke. So heat stroke. So we have to, again, accountability. We got to say something. But if we don't know, then we can't say anything. So To all the listeners out there, I definitely all the leaders out there, I recommend you to educate yourself on the top things that we're dying from. Everybody, and it's a few things. It's the heart disease, it's the cancer, it's the stroke, and all of them have the common theme of the causes. The obesity. Obesity causes heart disease and stroke. It can cause cancer, hypertension. And how do we get obese? From lack of good food in our body and lack of inactivity, from physical inactivity. So we have to know the top things that we're dying from if we do live a long time. There's another thing, and I don't want to get off topic too much, but it still has to do with our health. And there's another thing that's staggering when you look at the top things that we are dying from. Homicide is in, and you can go check the CDC for these stats. Homicide is in the top for black males from age 0 to in the 40s. Homicide is in the top 5 of things that our black males are dying from. And I believe under 34 or something like that, it's in the top 3. So, I mean, another thing, that's the health of our community is important. Kids are literally, especially our young black brothers, are literally being killed out there in the streets by each other, by foreign people or whatever it is. It's a problem, and our young brothers are dying out here in the streets by homicide, so they don't even have the chance to die from a stroke, a heart disease, or anything like that. So, again, we have to get to the root of these causes. So a healthy community, a healthy, happy community.
Accountability is the main thing, especially if you're a
That's
leader,
it.
because me and my husband, as we say, to be a leader, that means people have to put you there. So the people that put you there are the people that you are accountable for, and you need to be really trying to tell them the positive and the right things to progress the community.
Definitely. So, but to get back to the strokes, I want Sheena to run down some of the top risk factors of stroke, which I say they're almost parallel to the top risk factors of heart disease and diabetes and all the other stuff. So we want to get this theme out here to you guys that it's not hard. You could do a few things and start preventing and start reversing some of the diseases that we have.
Okay, so I'm going to start with the number one cause, which would be high blood pressure. As we were talking about, especially in our community, is very common, and actually we get high blood pressure at a younger age than any other ethnicity. So we're talking about before you even hit the age of 10, our kids are having high blood pressure from stressing and what have you. Number 2 is smoking tobacco, of course, and I'm going to read this little paragraph for you all because I think it's interesting. It says, smoking or chewing tobacco raises your odds of a stroke. Nicotine makes your blood pressure go up. Cigarette smoke causes a fatty buildup in your main neck artery. It also thickens your blood and makes it more likely to clot. Even secondhand smoke, as Clayton mentioned, secondhand smoke can affect you even more tremendously than firsthand smoke. And it's like I said, smoking is not good for us. It's definitely an addiction, but like I said, if we can prevent this from happening by teaching our younger generation why, like I said, telling them these staggering statistics and showing them the black lungs from lifelong smokers and things like that, maybe that will help them to, defer them from even doing it in the first place. The third cause is heart disease, which was the first item we talked about. It's all tying back in together, as we said. Number 4, diabetes. Diabetes actually causes stroke as well, because people who have diabetes are more likely to have high blood pressure as well, which we know definitely causes stroke. The weight and exercise. If you're not getting some type of physical activity every day, like I said, it doesn't have to be extreme, but you need to be getting something, even if it's 15 minutes, even if you can't do the 30, 15 minutes every day will definitely add up. So I recommend everyone doing that if possible. Medications are a main cause of stroke. Blood thinners are one of them because it prevents blood clots, but it can make a stroke more likely to bleed. So you're bleeding, and you're also getting clots. So, like I said, that's definitely going to cause a stroke. Your age, it's doubled when you have passed the age of 55. If your family, another cause, if it runs in your family, which we said, it really, with that statistic, I'm not sure if it's, like we said, running in your family or if the bad eating habits and behavior habits have something to do with that being passed down through the family. Women are less likely to have a stroke than men of the same age as them. Women, we seem to have strokes later on in life, and men have it earlier. Like I said, they're twice as likely to have it. And the last thing will be your race. Like I said, as we know, strokes affect us more than anybody ethnically. Like we're definitely the number one victim when it comes to this. So it's very, very imperative for our people to take, like you said, what you're putting into your body, what you're putting into your mind. All these things are a factor when trying to prevent these diseases.
And so the next thing we're going to talk about. So you guys want to follow up on that? Have any questions about stroke?
No, that's all good.
And they have a commercial that's I think my kids been knowing it since they could watch TV, but it talks about identifying when somebody's having a stroke. You know, so some of our family members who are at risk, and in our community, many of our elders as Sheena said, once you hit a certain age, the risk doubles of us having a stroke. So knowing some of the stroke, knowing some of the symptoms of a stroke can save somebody's lives of getting them there in time. And I think it's called FAST.
Yes. I don't know if I'm sure you all seen the commercial hopefully out there, which is the acronym FAST when dealing with the stroke, which the F is for facial grouping, the A is for arm weakness, the S is for slurred speech, and the T is for time to call. So it's time to call 911. So again, that's FAST. Facial grouping, arm weakness, slurred speech, and time to call. So if you could just put that in the memory bank, that could prevent someone from dying. You know, you could save someone's life. That's what we're trying to get to here.
All right. So our next thing, one of the top things that are killing our people is simply hypertension or high blood pressure, and that falls right back with heart disease and stroke. High blood pressure can be easily maintained through a healthy diet and a healthy lifestyle. We're not going to get tired of saying that. A healthy diet and a healthy lifestyle. So if you don't have 30 minutes a day to consciously work out, you can park your car further away when you go to the grocery store. You can take the stairs instead of the elevator. You can drink water and tea instead of soda. You can take a short walk to your corner of your street just to see the sights. If you have kids, nephews, nieces that are rambunctious like my kids, you can take that 30 minutes to go outside with them and be out there with them. You will work out when you're outside with kids. So you can be throwing a ball, walking your dog, anything. Just get take those extra steps. Take the extra time to get out there in the sun when it's out to sweat off some pounds and some calories. All right. So the causes of high blood pressure: smoking, being overweight, lack of physical activity, too much salt in a diet, too much consumption of alcohol, stress, old age, genetic. So these are some of the things, and it's a common theme. Stress can cause heart disease, high blood pressure, stroke, stress. So we need to be transforming our lives into stress-free environments. If it's not beneficial for you, cut it off. And sometimes you have to cut relationships off too, and not just relationships with significant others, but with friends, sometimes family members. And I always recommend to try to heal relationships, but sometimes you have to take a break to get yourself together. Again, self-love, salt. Just talk a little bit about salt. I've informed you guys about the hydrogenated oils and the partially hydrogenated oils that are in our food. Another hidden silent killer in our foods is salt. I'm gonna tell you a little story. Me and my wife were in Walmart, and we were consciously trying to buy foods for our body, and we were looking for some snacks for my little girl to take to school. She's in first grade. So we were looking at applesauce. What's applesauce? And we're looking at the ingredients. So we're grabbing the healthy applesauce, organic applesauces, cinnamon applesauces, and we noticed that if it said sugar-free or low in sugar, it was super high in sodium, super high. And if it said low sodium, it was super high in sugar. And, we went through about 50 different applesauce to finally, it was like the Walmart brand or something like that, which was we deemed best for us. But I say that to say that they hide salt. The things that we think taste good are full of salt. So every chip that you can get out the store has weighed, I think over 100% of your salt intake for the whole day off one bag of chips. Our cereal, a lot of cereals have salt. Everything that we're putting in our body has salt, and we need to know how much salt and how to reduce salt in our body, and how to measure it. One thing that I can recommend is as far as cooking. Again, another common thing with me and Sheena is going to be getting away from this Southern traditional diet. So our red meat is full of salt. They put a lot of salt in even chicken. Put a lot of salt in it to help preserve it, to help make it look fat, to help it look better. They use salt water to do so. We need to be using, if you want good quality food, use seasonings. Lack off the salt. Use some seasonings and herbs and spices to season our foods instead of salt. We condition, again, people say, oh, man, we just love salt. Black people are more prone to want salt or whatever the things people say. I'm a believer is that we've been trained to need salt since we were little kids. French fries. I know my wife said she grew up on French fries the first couple of years of her life, and full of salt, salty snacks. And we get our taste buds used to having salt. So when we don't have the salt, our taste buds are craving that. Same thing with the sugar. It's an addiction like a drug. So it's literally we have to make conscious choices of saying, you know what, I'm not going to get that because it does have too much salt in it, or it's not healthy for me. And usually the things that's obviously not healthy for us are the things that we need to be cutting out anyway. So, again, with the high blood pressure, the lack of physical activity, the obesity, I think Alabama is in the top 3 states since the 70s or beyond, or since they start taking this stat of African Americans being overweight, and not just overweight but obese. Alabama is always in the top 3, and Mississippi is right next to it, and our southern states, and that's strictly because of our diet, our southern traditional diet. We eat unhealthy. So if we can just start making those, like I say again, those conscious decisions on the things we put in our body, getting a little bit more physical activity, even if we are overweight, and it goes back to loving ourselves and the smoking. So you guys want to add anything to that about high blood pressure?
Well, I would like to say a couple of things based on what you just said about the salty foods and the salt in the cereals and the salty snacks. Can you give us some alternatives? For instance, with you talked about the organic applesauce. I'm not going to play. I'm going to play the role of not being able to afford organic applesauce. So could we just do something more home-based, like boiling apples, mashing them, and, putting our own cinnamon on them and taking the natural sugar from the apple to kind of help us, because you talked earlier about the jars and the packaged foods. So I'm just kind of trying to play both roles right now, if you will, for people that, have this thing, they can't afford organic. I know that it could be maybe $1 more, but when you're looking overall for some, can you give us just an alternative for, as opposed to organic, just doing something more home, like a home remedy?
Okay. So we always recommend make your own snacks, your own foods. Always recommend that. So some ways I want people to start identifying what's in the foods. So sometimes, yes, if you just have to have some chips, there are some other healthy alternative chips to be had. But we definitely recommend fresh fruits and vegetables and nuts and herbs. So if you crave salt or you crave a snack during the day, a handful of nuts. You go buy you a big old can of cashews, mixed nuts, or trail mixes, things like that, and they're usually fairly cheap. And you definitely get the fresh fruits and vegetables for your snack. So, a lot of adults probably haven't ate a banana in a long time unless you have kids. A lot of adults just don't buy bananas and apples and oranges and stuff like that. Or they look at the little cuties, the little oranges, and they say, oh, that's kid stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But those are some of the things that we need to incorporate into our life as adults so we can ward off the unhealthy snacks. And one thing I recommend are people, I don't want people to think that they have to change or do these extreme changes overnight. So, but I do want you to think about it. Every time you buy some chips, I do want you to think about, man, this is not good for me. But, if you just consciously think about it. So to just start substituting things, the things that for sure are bad for you. Like I say, substituting chips for a handful of nuts. For some grapes. Grapes are expensive, but it's healthy for our bodies. So definitely, and like I say, preparing. We're soon. We're going to have some preserving classes, and we're going to be showing people ways to dehydrate your own snacks and fruits and vegetables. So you might not
wait a
like
minute
bananas.
Now.
Oh yeah. We'll keep you updated. But there's ways to dry out your own fruits and vegetables. Halloween coming up, you're gonna have pumpkins. People just throw the pumpkin seeds out like it's just trash. That makes me sad.
Yeah.
That's those are nutrients right there. You can roast you some fresh pumpkin seeds. Or even eat, a lot of people don't eat pumpkins, but they're fairly cheap and ready and available. But definitely, I just want people to start taking the negative snacks out of their diet, and sometimes you don't have to substitute it with
I really do. But I really
No problem.
appreciate that because, you hear, you've talked about reading labels, and I know that it's very important to read labels. But you're giving us more than just reading labels. You're telling us what to look for with the trans fats and the saturated fats and then the hydrogenated
oils.
What was it? Oils?
Yes.
Hydrogenated oils. So you're giving us things to look for, and that's really helpful. I don't consider myself like really big on nutrition, but I'm better than where I had, what I used to be. And so you would be amazed at how people are quick to, give you just on the surface read labels, but they don't tell you what to read or what to look for. So this is really good. This is really good.
And to prevent from having to read labels, I get the things with no labels, the fresh fruits and vegetables. This is an apple and it has apple in it.
That's good. That's good.
Also, a quick tip. One of our friends, Miss Barbara, she taught us something about the psychological games or plays with people. You know how when you walk in the store, it's usually very beautiful or smells good, and they usually lead you into the produce section all the way around. So they have a setup and tricks and stuff that they use in the stores that we'll probably cover. We'll probably have Ms. Barbara on to cover some of those things in the upcoming weeks. But one thing I do say is the stores trick us. So even if we say we're getting fresh fruits and vegetables, or I go get me some cans of green beans, I don't know what's in this can. Most people don't know where this can even came from. If they did know the conditions that this food was packaged in, they'd probably be like, "Oh, no, I can't do it." So we want to educate people a little bit more about those things too coming up. But one thing I do want to talk about is that a lot of people do have, due to the fact that our people are kind of go to the store once a month sometimes because you don't have a car and you have to have a friend take you. We get our vegetables out of cans, and with those cans comes a lot of sodium because they have to preserve this in a can, and for it to taste a little good, they put a lot of sodium in it. So I recommend everybody, like I said, we're talking about the high blood pressure, and you may think you're eating healthy because you're getting vegetables out of cans, but rinse those vegetables, pour that juice off, rinse the vegetables, and that takes some of the salt out. So that's one thing you can do to reduce salt in your canned goods. So when you buy that corn, those peas, go ahead and rinse them real good, and you can season them any way you want. You'll get your flavor back. I'm pretty sure we don't like the flavor of the can anyway. So rinse your vegetables out the can. That'll drop that sodium. Definitely drop the sodium down.
And I wanted to add one thing, which is off the food situation, but it still has to do with high blood pressure. And my queens out there, this is very, very important because it's not talked about. Perming your hair while you're taking blood pressure medicine is a no. It causes hair loss.
What?
It causes thinning, and yes, it does not mix it. Well, blood pressure medicine, acne medicine, depression medicine, it secretes through your hair. So when you taking that medicine and also you're perming your hair at the same time, the chemicals don't mix, and it causes it to fall out. So if I can make us aware of that, yes.
Okay.
It does.
Shannon, can you help me? Can you repeat that one more time? You said acne medicine, blood pressure medicine, and there was one other one that you talked about.
Depression medicine. Now, I know for us African Americans, the blood pressure medicine is what is not a go for us with the perms. And as we know, a lot of these blood pressure medicines have caused swelling in us as well.
Right.
Yes. So
interesting.
Yes, it's something in our chemical makeup that it doesn't agree with that. So I just want to make the ladies very aware.
That's really good, because when you talk about it causes your hair to fall out, would that also be like causing the hair to shed?
Yes.
With taking these medications and perming your hair?
My mother, like I said, she was a prime example because she definitely, like I said, she's thinning now because she's permed her hair over years, and she's been on blood pressure medicine for maybe the past 9 or 10 years, and like I said, her hair is definitely it's thinned all the way out now, and like I said, it's definitely that. And she's also had the swelling and been to the hospital from her blood pressure medicine too, from her throat almost closing up and things like that. So we have to be careful when read the side effects. That's the main thing. Is you have to read this. I know I never did it when I was taking Benadryl or anything, but they're there for a reason on that paper, because when I did read her blood pressure medicine, the side effect, it did say it will cause swelling in African Americans, and that's exactly what it did to her.
Wow.
This is what the doctors are prescribing to African Americans.
I don't mean to take anything away from what Bo and Clayton have said, but Sheena, what you are saying right now has taken over everything that these guys have shared with us tonight. Because I was just talking to my mother, and this is no disrespect to you guys, I promise, but I was just speaking with my mother today, who says she's been taking blood pressure medicine, I don't know, she's 71, so maybe about 5 years or so. It seems like the last 5 years her health has started to really just decline. And she went to the doctor Monday because she had a lot of swelling in her ankles and on her calves, and said, I don't really perm my hair that often, but, when I do perm it, it's, I just do the ends. And she was like, my hair is shedding, I'm swelling, and I had no idea. And so can you also help our listeners, as well as myself, about hair color? Because, we tend to, you have the gray around the edges. And I'll just be honest, I have locks. I've been wearing locks for about 15 years. But I'm starting to gray. And so I've started using henna because I was told by another queen that henna is a lot better for you because it's more natural. So can you help our listeners with perm, hair color, locks, natural hair color? Do you think that plays the certain role or the same role as the hair perms?
Yes, it definitely does. Like I said, because it's foreign to us. It's foreign to our hair. It's foreign to the chemicals. And it is not. It's not foreign. I hate to say it like that, but it's not. But as far as the natural, I've been locked now for a little over a year. So the black castor oil, as you know, that's in a lot, like my husband said, that's in a lot of the hair products that we use anyway, the castor oil. So I just buy the natural, the all black castor oil and put, so we need to also African-American women tap into our natural products. Natural, like, I don't know if you heard about the Dove campaign that everybody's in the rise about, but as I said, there's no sense in us being in a rise about a product that wasn't made for us anyway. We have plenty of people who make natural products and we don't want to buy it because they are black and you don't think they hold up to par with Dove and what have you. So we have to get that out of our minds and start supporting our black businesses that are trying to put the health products out there for us. And there's even a guy out there who's made sanitary napkins and pads for women, all natural. A black man has done that.
He sure has. Sure has. I've been listening.
We are the original innovators, so it can be done, and we just need to get back, like I said, tap back into our natural way of life, and with the hair products as well, it's no different.
So
you are really helping us. Thank you.
And I want to add on to the natural campaign and the natural beauty and the self-healing. Just like we talk about, we have to be conscious of the things that we put in our body. That same thing with the things that we put on our body. And I know, was it Chris Rock?
Yes, it was Chris Rock that talked about the hair, the black hair, the different type hair, if that's what you're talking about.
Did we lose y'all, Bo?
I don't know. That's what I was trying to find out.
I think we did.
Okay. It doesn't show on the radio.
Come back
Maybe
on.
they
I
hit
think
mute.
They got disconnected.
Okay. Yeah, this is really helping. I'm just blown. Like, my mouth is, like, wide open, like, hit the floor, pick my mouth up off the floor when you talk about the hair care products. Like I said, I've been natural for about 15 years. But I still did some things that wasn't quite natural, like using hair color. So I did talk to someone who is a loctician and everything, and she, just said, well, you need to keep those hair colors, just like the perms, out of your system. And, I'm like, okay, like, I'm a little vain here. I've got, a little gray coming around the edges, so help me. And so she told me about henna being natural. And so I've embraced the henna. But I didn't, when you learn better, you do better.
That's right.
You got the little vain thing going.
But it's good to hear, like you say, healthier alternatives. And as Sheena and Bo was talking about, we do have African Americans that are very, very educated and know a lot of things, and it's just getting that education out now so that we all can benefit from it. So I love this platform of the talk radio. This is just one other way that this information can be, that your listeners can get it, and then they can start spreading it, like the gospel,
Exactly,
so
like
I'm
you're saying about going into the different churches and talking about healthy eating and some healthy tips, incorporating it into, your weekday service. This is
yeah.
good, and like you said, it starts with us.
Is.
It starts on
It
this
does.
radio, but we have to be willing to, pay it forward and tell our people about these things because it's important. And look,
is.
I mean, I don't proclaim to know everything, but I call myself somewhat of a nutritious person, and I'm telling you, I'm just like, this is the second week, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't know this, so I'm writing everything down. Got my notebook going,
Right. And it's just like you said, just really just education. We don't have enough platforms where we just can hear from each other or talk to each other.
Right.
And a lot of the television is by design is getting away from that. They're putting everything out there. Radio is putting everything out there, but what we as a black community and our people need to know and hear. I got a chance to shout out to the Total Church Ministry this weekend. They had a women's conference, and so now that I'm on this platform, I'll be able to talk more about upcoming events like that. But I was so proud to be a part of it. They invited me out to talk about health because they were talking about the total woman. And one aspect they invited me out to do is talk about health, and real quickly, the 5 things that I talked about was, number 1, being transparent about where you are and what you want, and then having an accountability partner to keep you up on the things that you desire, and the things that you're saying. And the first question I asked to get the crowd involved, I say, so as women, what do y'all really want? And we can ask that to our listening audience. As women, we talk about women's health, what do women really desire when it comes to their health? And we had a lot of answers. Some people were like, I want to be healthy, I want to be fit. But the answer I was waiting on was, I want to be fine.
Right.
And so, it was amazing, that when it comes to, our health, all of us desire the same thing when it comes to our health. And that is to be able to have energy, to be able to feel great every day, to be able to fit in some of the clothes that we used to fit in, simple things like that, simple things like that, because I teach, when I teach and talk to what we call lifestyle changes, we talk to them about even shopping out of your closet. You have that favorite dress or them favorite clothes you used to wear. Let that be your motivation, So simple solutions is we got to find motivation, self-motivation. We got to find other things that can become motivation. Somebody in our life, we don't want it to, as Bowden was talking about, we don't want the doctors to force us to do these things, So can we do preventive things? Can we do things that will allow us to be able to enjoy and not feel like we under the gun? We have to do this.
Right.
So what are some of the things that we can do in our lives to keep our motivation up, to keep us enthused and excited about a healthy lifestyle? And so one thing we talked about is being transparent about where we are and knowing that you're not alone. Let me say that again. You're not alone. Everybody has gone through these things. You're not alone. That's the number one thing. Even me as a trainer, I have to have a trainer. I have to have an accountability, So even trainers need trainers. How about that? So
that's interesting. That's really interesting.
Yeah, it is. Even trainers need trainers. You have some people that are really, really great at, as far as self-motivation, and that's awesome. But nobody can ever, you're always going to have somebody that can come into your life and see you better and push you to a place farther than you can yourself sometimes. And so that's all trainers are. That's all we know we are. We just to guide you and give you wisdom and knowledge to get to where you want to go. So, in saying that, in our own personal lives, we can all say, what has kept us from our health goals? What has kept us on our health journey? What is keeping us from doing the things that we know we should do. And most of the time, it's just motivation. We lack
motivation is a hard thing.
It's hard. You think about time.
Well, you were talking about, just being, under so much of the pressures of life. You've got work, you've got school, you've got family, you've got, so who motivates the one who's the motivator? I would say in my household, I'm the motivator, right? I keep everybody in line. Like, my son went to work this morning. I'm like, okay, make sure you got some lunch. Make sure you got some money in your pocket. My husband was getting ready to go to church. Make sure you get this. Make sure you do this. The dog needs to go out. Okay, let's make sure that you're safe. So who keeps me as a motivator motivated?
Right. Exactly. Okay, right now we can answer that question. Do you have anybody in your life that you can count on to do that for you?
No. I'm serious because I was talking. I have a girlfriend, and man, she's always talking. Let's go out to eat. Let's do this, and she's giving me, her problems or whatever. And Bo and Sheena talked last week about, the toxic relationships. And so this week I've been like, hey, I don't want to hear this. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't deal with your problems because I got too much stuff going on in my own life. So help me. Help me, Clayton.
Well, what I would say is you do now. Myself, I would be that motivator. I would be that encourager. And of course, you have Bo and Sheena as well.
We'll be there for you too.
And I appreciate that.
We got you. So now, live and over the air to the whole world, we've told you got 3 accountability partners. You got three motivators.
Thank you. And I
so
appreciate that because you need it,
Yeah, you do. And what we were just talking about was, go ahead, Bo.
I was just going to say, as far as motivation, we have to use the resources we have. So we have, like, group chats on our phone. If you're on Facebook, create a small group with just your sisters in there to motivate you, to ask, did you get your steps in today, or did you get your workout in today? Did you get your walk on today? So, you can create little communities around you with our resources we have, like social media or even just a message group in your phone. So, and I know Clayton's good with the social media.
Oh yeah, that's good. And we also been using just the regular group text messages and stuff. Like Bo and them was saying, there are a lot of resources. I actually sent out a text message, to all my lifestyle, all the lifestyle changes, or anybody that need motivation. We send out daily motivation. And so what you do is once you get it, and you receive it, you talk back, you speak back. And we talk about being transparent every day. Sometimes when we send it out, people be like, "Oh no, I ain't doing nothing today. I don't feel like it." So sometimes you have to have that extra, So being transparent, some days you're not gonna feel up to it, but some days, when you get that extra motivation and encouragement from other people, it'll cause you to do differently than what you feel. Because it's about not just doing what you feel, but doing what's healthy and what's right for your body. And for your life, and feeling great. But we were just talking, Bo.
Okay, well,
and Sheena. Go ahead.
I was going to say, can I interject for just one moment? Talk about being transparent. My phone number is 251-802-2774. I'm serious. Like, I need some help.
We got you.
I got you down. You over to
we got you. We got you. And it's just funny because I just this is what I do all day long. I be collecting numbers, and I got now the extent of it is that you find that you're not alone. You're not the only one that needs help. So you're gonna be amazed that once everybody starts sharing their testimony and their experiences, you're gonna be like, wow. And then the education that Sheena and Bo talks about is something that I preach on a lot too. Is that once we start sharing different things and we start putting it into practice, we used to say knowledge is power, but applied knowledge is power. Applied knowledge. You can have the knowledge, but if you don't apply it, then it's just knowledge. So Our friend of mine, we was having that conversation, and we began that began to really be something that we started saying and speaking. That applied knowledge is power. So now you got all the knowledge and all the education you need. You got the motivators. You can't help but be successful. We also, and I'm going to let Sheena and Bo pick back up where they left off, but we also have what we call a push-pull buddy system. So if you got somebody pulling you and you got somebody pushing you, you can't help but go forward. So you are now a part of the push-pull buddy system. Officially, you are a lifestyle changer. You have me as your lifestyle change trainer. And so, yeah, there go your motivation you needed. Now you have it. I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's
so,
awesome.
You know. But that's what we're here for. But we were just talking, Bo and Sheena, until you guys came back on. I know you were getting ready to talk about self-love, and then I'll come back, a little later with some other things. But you can go ahead if you want to pick up on that, Bo.
Okay. Definitely. Yeah, I think we got disconnected or we pressed the hold button or something like that. So
yeah,
but definitely, I want to talk. I was just talking away. So
yeah, I was sending out text messages saying, "Okay, wait, y'all with us?"
Yeah, I think I pressed hold.
Welcome back.
Okay, so thank you. So definitely, I want to talk about self-love and loving self. Too many times, our people, male, female, we're focused on giving love, and we're focused on our kids. We're focused on our significant other. We're so busy on giving love that we forget to love ourselves. A lot of times, our people are too busy on trying to get love or seeking love, and they forget to love self. And it's a shame because once we learn to love self, like really love self, we almost free ourselves from a bondage of the insecurities of the rejection of the European standards of beauty that we're subjected to. We free ourselves. We're able to say, you know what, I'm beautiful. I'm a being. I'm here. I'm the best me I can be. I love myself. So I just want to recommend people out there to take the time for some self-love. And ways to do so is to, definitely do the things that you love doing. Identify the things you love doing and make time to do so. A lot of people, my wife, for instance, she loves to read. She has to make time to read, but that's some self-love. Some people may just like to be out in nature, like to think, like to meditate. That's self-love. Wanting to be the best person you can be and trying to achieve it is one of the top things you can do to promote that self-love. I want to be better at reading, or I want to be better at writing essays. I want to be better at my relationships, and actually going out there trying to better yourself into doing so is self-love. Taking the time to pamper oneself. I know a lot of women always say, man, the best time I ever had when I was out with my sisters and we had a spa day and we were able just to put the focus on ourselves for a day. So I recommend everybody try to love themselves a little more. And for the people around you, let them know I need some more love. I need that love. I need you guys to help me self-love. So if promoting self-love is making sure you tell your significant other they're beautiful, even when they don't feel beautiful, that's promoting a person to do some self-love, especially to our youth. It's up to us to put that confidence in them of self-love so they can love themselves. We have to bring positive images to them of people who look like them so they can have that self-love. And self-esteem doesn't equal self-love. We can have all the self-esteem and all the confidence in the world and just think you the ish. But, do you really love yourself? If nobody's looking, are you still going to smile? How do you feel when nobody's around behind those closed doors? Do you still love yourself, or are you only putting on this image of loving yourself as self-esteem? So definitely taking the time to love ourselves and getting to know ourselves. I know there's a quote out there in many different religions and many different cultures is love your neighbor as yourself. I mean, if we don't love ourselves, man, we couldn't possibly want a better world or a better community because we have to start with self. I can't be out here telling people to change your life or help change the community when I don't even care about myself. Because I'm not gonna put more effort into the community or into another person than I am myself, and most people aren't either. So if you don't care about yourself, you're pretty much not going to care about too many other things in life around you in your community. And we're talking about holistic health here. So self-love is very important, and that's physical, mental, spiritual. Being selfish sometimes with your time, so you can get some time to think. Being selfish with your love or with your favorite beloved snack, just for that self-love or whatever it may be. So definitely.
And to piggyback on that, with self-love, it prevents a lot of these preventable diseases that we're talking about. Because if you love yourself, you won't be putting all this bad stuff in your body, making bad decisions, and having negative energy around you. And like I said, it just wards off everything else that we're talking about tonight.
Definitely.
Wow, good. Yeah, that's good, Bo and Sheena. That self-love thing is, it's something that, wow, man, that's an amazing thing. Like you said, it does when you love yourself. It will cause you to treat yourself. Because I was just talking about that in the women's conference this weekend. I was like, nobody can treat you better than you can, but you have to know what that really is, and like that it is about being selfish, to the extent to where you gotta say, I need to get to know myself, and that will cause you to be able to sit down and say, how much do I really know about me and who I am and what I want to be and what I love, and not compromising when it comes to that, because everybody gonna want your time, gonna want you to do for you. It's like I was talking to the ladies this weekend. I say, now, there's nothing wrong for doing for other people. Well, what is really wrong is that when you neglect yourself, because you can do all that for other people, and then when you're gone, you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna continue to live on, And so, the lesson that I've been hearing, and I'm hearing everything you guys are saying because it's speaking to me. In my life journey too, is how much time do you spend with yourself?
Right.
And that's not an easy thing for people to do because they think that means that you're lonely or that you are alone. But no, that's the best time you can have when it's productive. Right. When you're doing something that you say that you love doing. That was one of the reasons why I got into health and fitness. Is because, the love I have for myself, I wanted to pass that on to others, and like you said, that's just one aspect of it, but taking care of your body makes you feel good, you look good, and that's part of, loving yourself. But the other thing that you talked about too was like, man, just really just, taking in good food and good vibes, It was funny when you were talking about certain people you see and they automatically make your stress level go up. I was like, so you have to avoid those kind of people and being around those kind of people, and that's awesome, man. And I love that we have a platform that we can talk about realistic things that are affecting our community. And tonight has really been a great opportunity, for us to spread some of that love, to the community and to our listening audience, man. So I'm grateful to hear all that, that has been said, because, and I just put this out there and we'll continue to talk about it. But the 5 things I talked about at the women's conference this weekend was transparency and having an accountability partner was number 1. The second thing we had was eating, like you've been talking about tonight, eating the right foods, you know, and preparing your foods, and eating healthy. You know, the third thing we talked about, it's just show you how on one card we are. The third thing we talked about was exercising, you know. Then the fourth thing we talked about was we talked about third thing was exercising and drinking water, drinking plenty of water, you know. And then the fourth thing we talked about was getting plenty of rest. You know, we don't really understand how valuable it is for us to go to sleep. And in our field of health and fitness, we talk about rest being recovery. Rest equals recovery. You know, so if you don't get a lot of rest, you can't get up and function. Y'all notice people when they don't get rest, how angry they are when they get around you.
Yeah, definitely.
A lot of people don't get enough rest.
Like I say, last week we talked about some of the same. We talked about some of the same things, and it's a common theme. And these are free things that you can start doing now without taking any supplements, without getting any medicine, without having to see a doctor or anything. You can drink more water. You can get more rest. You can eat a little bit better. These are things that you can do. Exercise. You know, get more physical activity. These aren't hard things to do. And it may be hard to get started, but like I say, if you put a team around you, if you got sisters that want to change with you, you know, brothers that want to change with you, that's on the same accord, you can't lose. With the parable or the saying, when 2 or 3 are here, Jesus is there.
Yeah, 2 or 3 are gathered together. 2 or 3 are gathered together, touching and agreeing. In His name, He's in the midst.
Exactly. So that's the same exact thing when it comes to our health. When 2 or 3 are gathered, you know, the spirit of health is here. You know, let's get it done. Let's do it. If we're gathered here and we're all trying to stop smoking, we're here gathered on one accord. Let's get it done. You know,
right?
I always talk about going back to our original state of, you know, and one of the things is tribalism. We're a tribe. You know, one person, we're only as strong as the weakest link in our tribe. So if we don't have a tribe around us, if we don't have a community around us to help us, to hold us accountable, to remind us, and to say, you know what, you know, let's not go to that store or go to that gas station, or let's not go in the gas station. Let's get these debit cards, and we won't even walk in the gas station to be tempted by the bubble gum and the Snickers and the chips and the sodas and the energy drinks and stuff like that, you know. So, and sometimes that's what you got to do, you know. And if think tanks, another thing that happens when more people combine with each other, you start throwing ideas out there, and the saying 2 heads are better than one is true. So your way of achieving a healthy, happier life might be different from my way of achieving a healthy, happier life. But if we throwing ideas out there to each other, we're able to pull from a toolbox and say, all right, I'm going to use that. Oh, that debit card one is really good, because every time I go in the store, I get chips. So now I'm going to get a debit card just for gas, and maybe I'll even get a debit card that earns points and use it, you know, and say I won't go in the store, or I'll go in the store and I tell myself I'm only going to go to the produce section. I'm not going to go anywhere else in the store but to the produce section and out of the store, just to practice, you know, just to go see, you know. So throwing ideas out there to each other, having community. Accountability and transparency, you know.
And it takes discipline. It takes a lot of discipline too. You know, I was hearing, you know, all the things that we're saying, that it really takes discipline. You know, you have to be consciously thinking. You know, I love what Sheena was saying and Bo has been saying about black-owned. There are a lot of black-owned businesses out there. And so we have a campaign, too, that says, have you supported a black-owned business today? You know, to have you supported, before you go and purchase something, before you go and do anything, is it a black-owned business that offer those same products or services? You know what I mean? And that's a conscious effort because we're creatures of habit. So we used to go in with convenience and what's closest to us, what's on the way, you know. And so I love what you said about the card, man. I'm gonna take that, Bo, man. That was good, and so those things, like you said, are huge, in changing our mindset and the way we think. But it is gonna take a discipline and a conscious effort in order for us to grow and do the things that we're talking about. But we can start with us, and then we can lead the way. I often say you have to be the good that you want to see. You have to lead by example. And so we have a core group right here on this phone, and now we just add on to what we have because we know other people that desire the same thing. And so, man, I'm grateful to hear that, Bo, man, about that. And we have a health, wealth, and happiness tour campaign that we're doing. So all that will be included in that because it's so important. The last thing we were talking about too on happiness was how much of travel time do you get? How much do you just go out and take a walk, in the neighborhood or at the park? Those are easy things that we're talking about because it's funny, Bo, you were saying that, these things don't cost money either. We have a slogan called Planet Earth is our planet fitness. Everybody need to adopt that. Planet Earth is our planet fitness. When you walk out your door, when you walk out your door, you walk into a gym. So Planet Earth is our planet fitness. So we have everything we need right there, man. We can take walks and we taking walks and going in places that give you peace is a great stress reliever. So, man, I'm all in. So those are the kind of the 5 things we'll be talking about in the upcoming weeks as well. I have somebody that's going to talk about taking cruises, and we're going to offer trips. We're going to try to give away trips. We're going to give away time, give more opportunities for everybody to go out and get some relaxation. So I'm excited, man. I'm ready.
Yes, and you know what you said about when you know better, you do better. And with us, me and my dad were having a conversation the other day, and he was saying, us as African Americans, tradition. We're so stuck on tradition a lot of the times. Like you said, a certain store you always used to go to, and it's not necessarily the right one, but no, my mom used to always take me here. I always used to come here with her, so you think it's just the right thing to be doing. And he always encourages Bo and I to always try to look for alternatives because he doesn't like to see, especially our elders, to be so stuck in tradition that they don't want to listen to the younger generation coming under them. So I think that, like I said, especially with our health, like I said, we all have the aunties, and I know my uncles and stuff. I'm going to eat meat to the day I die. I've been eating it for 40 years, and it's never going to change, So, yes. We do have those. So, that's what we have to combat. Like I said, with the younger generation, we could bring them up where they don't have to unlearn anything or relearn anything because they learned it right the first time.
Right. That's it, man.
Right.
Wow. That's good. That's good, Sheena.
This has been so enlightening. I'm telling you, you guys just don't know. Like the old folks say, it just keeps getting gooder and gooder. I have so enjoyed tonight. I'm just like, oh, my word, I cannot believe this. This has been so enlightening. And I've been sending out text messages saying, hey, you need to get on Young Adult Talk. You need to listen. You need to get with us because it's some really good, serious conversation. Not about anybody, but about ourselves. And we don't have to worry about that, right? Because we're talking about ourselves, so we're not gossiping. But we're also encouraging others to chime in, listen in, and learn some ways that you can do something to help you. Not in an expensive way, but a logical way and a doable way.
Right.
And I'm telling you, this has been awesome. This is awesome.
My thing is, if you're going to talk about somebody, at least try to help them in the process.
Come on.
That's right. And we say laughing is good for the soul. You burn more calories when you laugh than you do when you frown. Hey, I have burned some calories this evening.
I just want to tell you guys, too, tomorrow I want to also make sure we give out, if anybody else desires, we're calling out leaders. We're calling out all church groups, calling out all groups, that are in the community. we were talking about being accountable. We all got to take action and take responsibility for our community and for our people. So we calling y'all out. If there are any listeners, there are any churches, any pastors and wives that are listening, we're calling y'all out because we need leaders. If there are any mayors, city council, anybody that's listening, we're calling y'all out. Give us y'all help. Give us y'all resources. We can make it happen because we're gonna do it anyway. But it would be helpful if we had more involvement from the community. Also tomorrow I'll be on the broadcast. Brother Williams tomorrow in his broadcast at 3:30. We'll be on having another health segment tomorrow. We're gonna be talking about detoxing and cleansing. So if anybody is interested in listening out, we'll be on Gospel 900 WGOK talking about detoxing and cleansing at 3:30 on tomorrow. So I definitely have enjoyed you guys, Sheena, Bo, man. You know how we do when we get together. And Elder, I can't wait to meet you in person. And now that I am your lifestyle change trainer, we will definitely. We're gonna be. I'll be adding you to my, adding you to my text message group. And my phone number for the listening audience, if anybody want to reach out to me, is 251-229-0701. Again, it's 251-229-0701. My name is Clayton Young Jr., a lifestyle change, health and fitness Christian franchise, and we say change your lifestyle, change your life. Consistency is our victory. Let's get it.
Right. So just a quick recap on the things, and the last thing we want to talk about was cancers. So we're gonna recap a little bit on some of the things that we talked about tonight. Okay, so the top things that are killing our people are heart disease, stroke, diabetes, and cancer. Most cancers are preventable, and they're the same things that prevent heart disease, the same thing that prevents high blood pressure, the same thing that prevents diabetes is the same thing that will prevent these cancers. Knowing what's going in your body, knowing what's around you, what you're putting on your body, knowing all those things, eating healthier, of course, reducing the red meat, reducing the processed meat, processed food, the microwave food, the sodas, the sugars, reducing all this and all. Another thing I didn't touch on was taking the white out of your diet. Consciously trying to say, you know what, I'm going to choose whole grains over the bleached and enriched grains. That goes for bread, rice, cereal, anything that has grains in it. Let's try to get the whole grains. Let's try to get our vitamins and minerals. The more colored the rice, the better. We got black rice. We love black rice in my house, and it's very healthy and hearty, beneficial for our bodies. So guys out there, definitely be conscious of the things that we're putting in and on our bodies. Stop smoking. Stay from around people who do smoke. Put yourself in positive environments, in a positive mind frame to reduce stress, and just try to live a wholesome life. And I wanted to give a quick shout out to my wife. She's 11 years breast cancer free. So it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We'll talk a little bit more about that next week, but I want to shout out my wife for being, a survivor.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Awesome.
That speaks
Thank
volumes.
y'all. And Clayton, thank you. You always running the breast cancer campaign, Clayton. You wear it year round. I see you, brother.
Oh,
I
yeah.
already know.
I gotta do it for you, Sheena, and for the rest of the family. It's so important,
right.
man. I can't wait for us to do that show. You can definitely count me in on that. And also, y'all, it's also bringing awareness against. We're fighting domestic violence this month too.
Domestic violence, yeah.
Against domestic violence. So I want to definitely. I got that. That's a year-round campaign we do as well. But that is so awesome, Sheena. Congratulations.
Oh yeah,
Congratulations
thank you.
are definitely in order.
Thank you so much. And the leafy greens, I can tell y'all, cancer is something. The kale. Now, the alkaline is high in kale, and like I said, it definitely keeps cancer away because cancer tends to live in a high alkaline body. So eat your leafy greens, everybody. It works. I can tell you that.
Leafy greens.
If we could, that's right. If we could, because you said leafy green vegetables raw are better, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay.
Anytime you can get your vegetables raw.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. I was just saying, anytime you're able to eat your fruits and vegetables raw, do so. And the reason being is you get all your vitamins from it, and also you get the fibers. You know, so a lot of people like to juice or say, I drink apple juice. You know, but you don't have the fibers in the apple to prevent it from breaking down so fast, going into your bloodstream, causing negative effects. So anytime you can eat a raw carrot, do so. Leafy greens, and when I say leafy greens, I'm not talking about iceberg lettuce.
That's just water, right?
I know iceberg lettuce is cheap, but it's not one of the leafy greens we recommend. Like I said, it's full of water, and 9 out of 10 it's full of all type of chemicals and stuff and pesticides. But like I say, if you have to, you can use it to stretch your salads and other leafy greens. Leafy greens, and the purple leafy greens. Eat them. Like I said, eat them raw as much as possible.
Okay, Bo, you said one other thing, and I think this is when you got went on mute for a little bit. We've got about 10 minutes. Can you touch real quickly on what you put on your body, because you were trying to convey something about what we're putting on our body as we were talking about what we put in our body.
Okay. So the same thing, we have to look at our ingredients. We have to know what these ingredients are. So when you're in the restroom and you might be sitting on the toilet and you have some extra time, grab that bar of soap and read what's in the ingredients, and grab your phone and Google what those ingredients are. A lot of people find out that a lot of soaps are made with animal fat or animal products, or you may be a vegan or vegetarian, and don't even know that your soap has, and I don't know how much you guys heard, but I was saying the definition, there's a definition of soap out there. And a lot of these soap bars that we have don't stand up to the definition of soap. It's just a bar of chemicals that make you smell good by the time you're out the shower. But it literally doesn't have any, the negative effects outweigh the positive effects of the smell. So we're rubbing chemicals on our body that we're not even consciously aware of. And I say my recommendation is buying soaps that fully what every ingredient is in it, and to buy it from the people who's making it. There's plenty of people out there that are filling this niche of natural soap, natural more skin moisturizers, natural oils that build the positive properties in our bodies. So definitely support the people who make the soaps, who make them natural. I have a friend out there. Her company's name in Clayton. You'll be able to back me up on this. But Blendia by India, one of my friends in Mobile.
Oh yeah.
Who makes natural soap.
India.
Exactly. So we need to support the Indias, and she has videos online of her showing exactly what's in her soap. And just the 2 and 3 ingredients, the first 2-3 ingredients are 9 out of 10 natural oils. So if you look in your Dove bar, if you look on your Irish Spring bar, they're not going to have any natural oils in your in the soap. Another thing Blendia by India does, she does their bath bombs, and they release scent. So last week we talked a little bit about aromatherapy. So she has these shower bombs and bath bombs. When you're taking a shower, you just put it on the ground, let the hot water hit it, and a scent to come up. It might be mint to help open your nose up, your sinuses up. It might be lavender to help ease that headache or to help you go to sleep that night. So definitely transitioning away from corporate America. Anytime they mass produce something, you gotta question it and say, you know what, what's the reason behind this? Why are there 400 different types of soap with all types of different ingredients? And the common ingredients in them are the negative ingredients. You know, so I definitely mean just switching to natural soap and switching to things that you know in it. Me and Sheena, we have a business. We kind of been slow on it, but we have a business also to where we sell Dudu-Wasum black soap, and all the ingredients in there are almost edible. I'll joke with my wife like, I eat this soap. It's so this soap is so good, I can eat it. You know, because seriously. Because most of the chemicals in it are stuff that are edible, you know, that so natural oils and things to put on your body. And we're going to get into this in the future too. Of a lot of these natural oils are beneficial for our bodies. You know, we're putting oils. Us black people are kind of oily, so we secrete a lot of. You know, sometimes we need those oils back in our body, or sometimes we put the wrong oils on our body or in our hair or on our lips and stuff like that. So we definitely have to be more conscious. And I say the simpler, the better. So, you know, look for the hair products and the body butters with the simple ingredients. You know, 2 or 3 ingredients. Shea butter. You know, natural cocoa butter and coconut oil. You know, we can moisturize our skin with these things. But I recommend that there's chemicals in these. And I don't want to scare anybody, man. There's a lot of stuff. but there's toxic chemicals.
You're not
in
scaring
a lot
us.
of
You're teaching us.
Because I was scared, you know. But there's toxic chemicals in our dish liquid. There's toxic chemicals in our laundry detergent, and there's chemicals in our soap. So these are the, you know, when we wash, these are the things that touch our bodies all the time. So we have to know what's in our laundry detergent and if it's causing us to have cancer. Because
that's true.
Wow.
And most laundry detergents have been on you since you were born. You know, why do babies have a special laundry detergent? You know, we should treat ourselves like babies throughout our whole life, so to speak, when it comes to stuff like that.
That's smart, man. That's smart.
Sheena was saying the brother has these new natural pads out there, but like, why should there even be a need to have to get these natural pads? You would think all these years that this is something that you're putting so close to your body so often was already natural and lacked these dangerous chemicals, you know. And come to find out, it's plastic. We all know plastic is not good, so that's, you know, come on. So certain things that we're only now becoming consciously aware of because of the access to internet and the easy accessibility to information these days. We need to use it and capitalize on it, because ultimately our goal is to survive and have a healthy, long, high-quality life. We want to live longer than we're dying. So that's our ultimate goal, and we need to be creating avenues to have that. And like I say, me and Sheena are going to preach about food and the things you put in and on your body and being consciously aware. And I'm pretty sure every time you guys hear from Clayton, he's going to be saying, get moving somehow, somewhere.
Let's do it.
So,
that's right. And the last, you know, we don't, if you can't find anything local, it's a website I want you guys to go on. I want y'all to tell me what y'all think about it. It's called WeBuyBlack.com. I don't know if y'all ever been on it, Sheena and both.
Yeah.
It's called WeBuyBlack.com. Have y'all had an experience with that?
Is that the the Black movement in Atlanta?
I think it might be based in Atlanta, but it's a resource where the black businesses go and list their black businesses on there, and other people can find their businesses.
Yes.
Yes,
I'm a part of that.
And Clayton, me and Giuseppe and Sheena were talking about that yesterday. But the only drawback to that is if the businesses don't know to go register their business, it won't be registered. So we have to do a campaign.
Okay.
Like you say, I know you were going through identifying the local the black businesses.
Oh, yeah.
It's up to us to have to tell these black businesses to go register your business with WeBuyBlack.com. So people can.
We'll do that. Yeah, we'll do that.
So
but
people can.
That's good because I did see on there that they had a black-owned business that did the detergent, like the dishwashing liquid and the detergent too. So if you go on there
and deodorant.
So I
we got to put Shabams on there.
Oh yeah, let's do it. So look, we'll work on. Luke, that'll be something that we'll all do together, and we'll keep updating the listening audience about that. But
please,
we have it. We have it. We just gotta keep putting it out there and keep spreading it like the gospel. Last thing, I'm gonna be training this week. If anybody want to come out to train and get moving, like we were saying, I train at 821 South Wilson Avenue. That's in Pritchard at the New Beginnings Church Ministry and Dixon's Total Touch. We're there training on Thursday night at 6:30. If you want to come out, it's just $5 to come out and train and get moving. We call it our training session. So if anybody interested, you want to come out and walk, you want to come out, and we do free consultations too. So I hope to see everybody soon.
Awesome.
Oh man, this has been awesome.
So
we're going to say thank you to. Amen. That's right, and that's what it's all about, right? Everything is local. In a close community, and we're putting ourselves out there, and there's no reason why anybody can have any excuse. You know, it starts with us.
Oh, yeah.
It starts with us. So we want to thank Bo and Sheena Williams and Clayton Young Jr. For coming out tonight, listening to Breaking Chains with Healthy Monday, Young Adult Talk. We say thank you, and we say God bless you and keep you is our prayer. And stay tuned on tomorrow night at tomorrow is Tuesday, right? Y'all help me out. Okay, on Tuesday night, we'll be listening to Full Gospel House Ministries out of Sacramento, California with Pastor Beatrice Smith at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time from 8 to 9 for intercessory prayer. And we'll have Healthy Monday again next week. We thank you all for listening, and we say be blessed.
Be blessed.
Thanks for having us, Queen.
You've been listening to Breaking Chains with Healthy Mondays on YAT Radio. Tune in next week, same time.
Go to our website,
blogtalkradio.com/YAT Radio, or call in 858-357-9137. It's Breaking Chains, YAT Radio, where we leave a mark that can't be erased by breaking the chains of silence.
Like an anthem, man. Them horns got me feeling real heroic right now, baby. Yes, this is my 300 music. I'm about to get my Leonidas on, fam. Let's ride in, baby. You riding with me, baby? Let's get it. I got my wool on my own, my head to the sky. I'm going in the battle with my own. Let's get it, man. High and I'm through playing games. I'm through playing, baby. Mine. And you can go and ask anybody. I'm feeling real, and I ain't turning back. I ain't turning back. I ain't turning back. I ain't turning back. It ain't nothing back and forth, man. You ready, fam? I ain't turning back. I ain't turning back. I ain't turning back. No, I'm on my Luke 9. I'm daily dying. Holy Spirit, keep your boy while I'm on the grind. Full on my own, cause I know them darts flying. And I'm through playing games, homie, I ain't lying. I'm walking out the way that I had as a juvenile. But this the plan that God had before I was a child. I'm walking in my destiny, and He protecting me. I'm eating at a table prepared before my enemies. Homie, I ain't turning back. You hear me? I ain't turning back. Only thing I'm turning back, homie, is my fitted hat. So go ahead and get your gat. You can go and cock it back when Christ rose up off the grave, and He coming back. And one day I'ma rise with Him, meet up in the skies with Him. That's why I'm willing to live and even die with Him. Reverend all over the world, my horns high with Him. Even if it means our death, you know we ride with them. My head to the sky, I'm going in the battle with my horns up high, and I'm through playing games. You can see it in my eyes, and you can go and ask anybody. I'm a ride, and I ain't turning back. 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 No.
Young boy flame in the church, about 17. Down the street, dirty things. Down the street, murder scene. So our whole regime hit the knees and we